Now that the new iPhones have been shown, you're probably thinking the same thing as me. Should you upgrade? Let's find out whether it's worth upgrading or not together in this video. If you already have an iPhone 15, then I would really think twice before considering this option, because in my opinion, you should just stay completely away from the iPhone 16. But I also know that a lot of people are gonna buy the newest one anyway, so anything I say in this video will just be thrown out the window. That's how it goes sometimes. The upgrades that's been made are really not that significant. The new camera control button, as an example, is only a minor convenience when using your camera, because all the features that it has is something that's available on your device already. You can't choose f-stop, zoom, exposure, etc. anyway without that button. Then you of course also get the action button, but to be honest, I really think that most people haven't even set it up for anything anyway. So that's just a small amount of people that'll actually benefit from that. A new chip with more power is of course always nice, and it's actually also quite a leap forward this time around. But except if you intend to game some really demanding games, it's also quite unnecessary. So if you have the 15, 14 or 13, you most likely won't notice that big a difference. I can't say how much the Apple Intelligence is gonna utilize the new increased power, so it might be that I'm wrong and the power is actually necessary. Too bad that the Apple Intelligence only will be available for US citizens for a few years, and since I'm from Denmark, I won't be able to enjoy any of the features anytime soon. Kinda sad, but that's how it's gonna be for now at least. The increased battery life is, however, really something that's nice, and also something everyone probably will agree on is a big deal. I at least think so. The biggest disappointment in my opinion is, however, though, that it's still a 60Hz display, which is just crazy at this point in time. It seems like every other phone has at least a 90Hz display by now, but yeah, that's just Apple in a nutshell. The USB-C is also only a USB 2 port, so it doesn't have the USB 3 support yet. That's only for the Pro models, which is a bit annoying actually. But it's probably because they think that if they make the normal iPhone as good as the iPhone Pro models, or close to it, no one wants to buy it. But I actually don't think that's true at all, because I've noticed a trend with the people that buy the Pro version. They always buy the Pro version the next time around, even though they don't use any of the Pro features. So I think that the Pro would still sell quite good anyway, even if they gave these features to the normal 16, or now it's gonna be 17 next year. But with all that being said, this year's upgrade from the iPhone 15 to 16 is actually kind of the biggest leap we've had probably ever, for that series at least. These last few years have been kinda sad, because not that much happened from the 13th to the 14th, or the 14th to the 15th. But this time around, a lot has actually happened. So if you own an iPhone 13 or actually even a 14, I'd probably start considering upgrading, because it'll actually start being a bigger step forward, which is super nice. I'll say that if you actually own a 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max, you'll really not notice any major difference, because it's really minor upgrades that the iPhone 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max has gotten. Like, it's even the same design as last year, just with one extra color option. Kinda lazy, Apple. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max right now, and I really don't think that I'll notice any major difference if I decided to upgrade to the 16 Pro Max. Yes, it would get a bit better battery life, some slimmer bezels also, but that wouldn't make a big difference in my opinion. Simply because the battery life is already great on my 14 Pro Max, and whenever they slim up the bezels, it doesn't give you that much more usable screen real estate actually. At least not anything you'll notice, since it's just around the screen, so it's more of a design choice to slim up the bezels. And maybe something like watching content on the device would become a little bit more enjoyable, but that's also just about it. But 0.2 inches really ain't that much, even though that's what he might tell you in bed. Then you get more power, but to be honest, I don't feel like my 14 Pro Max struggle in any app yet, so more power would just be unnecessary in my opinion. It really runs smoothly in any app still. Even if you play a lot of games on your device, I really think that you'll have a hard time identifying if it was running that much better. You'll of course get ray tracing with the newer devices, so the game might look a little bit better. But power is a little bit subjective right now, since I haven't upgraded to the latest iOS 18 software yet. And the latest update usually slows things down a little bit more. So we have to see how it performs after that update. As mentioned before with the 16, the camera control button really isn't necessary, because all the features are something that's already available on your device within the camera app, so that won't be a game changer at all. It'll definitely make recording horizontal footage for something like YouTube super nice and easy for sure, but it's not a game changer, so I'm not gonna act like it is. But it for sure is convenient. I can easily see that. Speaking of the camera, the new camera upgrades are super nice though, and it's something I really care about since recording videos is kinda like my job. The iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max now have what Apple calls a quad pixel sensor behind the main and ultra wide lenses, which should improve the pixel density on the camera to enhance detail and reduce overall pixelation. This is super nice, but I actually don't care that much about the new main camera, since that's all that's new. But the new ultra wide lens is really exciting, since that's the range I mostly shoot in when I record videos or take photos. And the macro capabilities in 48 megapixel is also gonna be super nice and something I would absolutely love to explore more in depth. The new video recording in 4K 120 FPS is something that's either gonna be complete game changing depending on who you are. Me personally, I really don't care that much, simply because I feel like slow motion footage is overused in videos when they have nothing else to show. And some would say it makes it more cinematic. I would just call it lazy actually, because it might have been used a lot in Michael Bay movies or movies like The Matrix, but today it's just misused most of the time. Don't get me wrong, it can absolutely be great and fit the storyline, but I just find that creators and even directors misuse it often. So that might be a game changer or it might not. I also have a Sony FX3, which I'm actually recording on right now, that have this feature within its camera body. But I actually almost never use it, just sometimes for a quick speed ramp, but that's only like 1% of the time. So it'll probably be fun in the beginning, and then you'll just start recording at 60, 30 or 24, 25 and 50 FPS again after like a month of using 4K 120 FPS. I would probably occasionally record in that FPS if I'm at a mountain bike race or something along those lines. So I guess it's nice to have that feature available, but it's definitely not the big selling point for me, at least. Getting USB-C would be nice though, especially since everything else I own uses USB-C. So yeah, having only one type of cables would be absolutely lovely. So upgrading from the 14 Pro to the 16 Pro would be under the category nice to have, but not need to have, in my opinion at least. But I'll probably do it anyway, simply because of the USB-C. It really annoys me. It really annoys me. But if I, on the other hand, have to look a little bit objectively on the matter, then I'd say it's actually only if you have like a 13 Pro and below that I would start saying that it's worth it, kinda. Since you'll then be getting a lot of upgrades like much thinner bezels, not only one 48 megapixel camera lens, but actually two, a dynamic island, way greater performance and a battery increase, a few new buttons, and a lot of other things under the hood, like for example Wi-Fi 7. So if I had that device, I would definitely start considering to upgrade if you have the budget. Very important detail. If you have the budget. If you upgrade from a normal device to a Pro device, you'll always most likely see some improvements, so that'll always be a bit of an upgrade. Especially the ProMotion 120Hz display is something you'll notice right away. At least I did when I upgraded to the Pro version. With all of this being said, I'm actually kinda disappointed in the iPhone 16 Pro this year. It's really just incremental upgrades that's been made here. It really isn't that big a leap forward. Another major reason that I actually might upgrade, even though it's not necessary yet, is that I would really like to have the ability to shoot ProRes log, just so I could start using my phone more for videos to put on platforms like YouTube as an example, because the quality I get without that feature is kinda nice, but I want my footage to look exceptional. And you know what? The ProRes log looks phenomenal when graded. Yeah, this is all I had to say. If this video helped you just a little bit, I'd highly appreciate it if you left a like and considered subscribing to my channel below. See you in the next one. I'm out.